Today is a super exciting day because it's James's 30th birthday! And we're celebrating by eating our way around Rome. Our favorite place to explore a city is through the food. So we're starting today with a food tour. Even though we've already been here, I'm super excited to try all the food. And then tonight, we're going to our favorite restaurant in all of Rome for possibly the best pasta you can find here. So pretty much today is just a day of eating our way through the city. And I think there's no better way to spend a birthday. And let's see what other shenanigans we get up to for the birthday celebration. We just arrived for our tour and we met up in Piazza Navona, which used to be an Olympic stadium. Super cool. I honestly don't even know if you want to see every single thing because it's going to be a lot.
It's going to be crazy.
Little fun fact we just learned. Obviously that's where they did the Olympic Games, which I just said, but they did them naked. So they're running barefoot and, you know, flopping. We're starting off with meats and cheese in a shop that's been here for hundreds of years and is family owned. How cool. Thank you. Starting the day with wine. This is crazy.
I don't even know what I'm eating anymore, but I'm enjoying this.
The one that just looked like regular salami was my favorite, I think. And the cheese is amazing. Paris and Rome, you can't beat the wine and the cheese. This is the wine we were drinking if you're interested. Honestly, really delicious. That's our sommelier right there. If we tried to fill something up in the US with this much meat, we would run out of options so fast, but they have the craziest things. You've got wild boar in here. You've got guanciale, which is pig cheek. It's actually really, really delicious. Don't judge it if you've never tried it. There's loin. There's all these different parts of the animal, all these different animals. It's just incredible how many things they can do here with the meats and the cheeses. At home, we got cheddar and brie, you know. If you do want to try any of these meats and cheeses without doing the full tour, although I recommend the tour, this is the name right here, Viola. Supli! Cheers! This is supli that comes from the Jewish ghetto and it's so good. I can't stop it. Of course, we got pizza. This one's margarita, and then the other one is my favorite pizza in all of Rome. I'm so excited for that one. It's the crunch. This is my favorite pizza. Oh no. It's got potatoes on it. Carb on carb. I mean, how can you be mad about that? This one's all rosemaried up. As we're passing that fountain, she's pointing out, it's called Nazzone, like big nose. If you ever pass those in Rome, take a sip out of them. The water is full of minerals. It comes from the same aqueduct that brings the water to the Trevi fountain. It is good to drink and honestly nice and cold. Big fan. We're going through a secret entrance that used to be the entrance into the theater. And oh my gosh. This is gorgeous. You don't expect that on a food tour, but with secret food tours, you're gonna get it. Heading in for some pasta. This is yet another place that has been family owned for hundreds of years. And this is why I love doing a food tour early on your trip if you can, because then you're gonna find places that you wanna come back to later. We got Pinot Grigio. We've got lentils, we've got chips. These are so good, homemade chips. Kind of the best chips I've ever had. The secret food has arrived. I can't tell you what it is, but it's exciting. It is not the flavor I expected at all. I'm about to try a fried olive. Interesting texture. And now I try the potato. That's so good. The pasta has arrived.
Oh,
She said this is the way you eat when you're eating at grandma's. It's like a treat.
so good.
It's so good. So you know how they say that Rome is an archaeological lasagna? Well, we're getting an example of that right now because we're going underneath the restaurant and into this like cave? I don't know. She's about to explain what the heck we're going through. Wow. So the way that they build the walls right here, you can see in the concrete, that's how you know that this was made in Julius Caesar's time. We're just at a restaurant and then underneath is like this. Classic Rome. I mentioned this in a previous vlog, but the reason why they only have so many metro railways and stuff is because every time they try digging underneath things, they just keep uncovering more archaeological things. Crazy. We're heading in to get a cannolo, and if you didn't know, a cannolo is one, cannoli is multiple. In English, we just started calling even one a cannoli, but if you say cannoli when you're ordering, they're gonna think you want a bunch of them. So just know that in Italian, cannolo one, cannoli multiple. The more you know. It's cannolo time. It's so light but creamy. You pick up the cinnamon. Incredible. We've got our cappuccino, we've got our cannolo. This is all I need to be happy in life, right? James got himself a soy cappuccino. We've just all been sitting around in a circle and talking, and this truly is the best tour group I've ever been on a tour with. Like, I just feel like we're all meant to be best friends. This has been so fun. Believe it or not, that was not the end though. I am so full, but we have one more stop. You know how we need to end this. We made it to get some gelato. Catalano. Here we go. I won't lie, that does not taste like crema Catalano, but it's good. I think. Here goes the birthday boy picking what he wants. Jenny got star anise and grapefruit ice cream. I've never heard of that flavor combo. Oh no, Jenny. That's not so freaking good.
She hates it. Okay, how are you eating that?
I feel bad. Pass.
Is it good?
Mine is so good.
What an amazing way to end this tour.
Okay, wait. This is the first time on a trip I haven't had to dig through a backpack like this.
No, literally. Usually it's just like a black hole.
This is the all-new bento backpack from Nomad Lane, and we're actually some of the first people traveling with it.
This is what makes it special though. It opens up like a suitcase.
Which sounds simple, but it changes everything while traveling.
Like everything has its place. No digging, no unpacking everything just to find one thing.
Sunglasses, camera batteries, leftovers from a food tour. There's literally a pocket for everything. Even a hidden passport pocket that we've been using non-stop.
And the biggest thing, it isn't bulky at all. It distributes the weight really, really well, which really matters when you're walking around somewhere like Rome all day.
Also, these literally launched just a few days ago, so you're probably one of the first people to hear about it.
If you travel a lot, this is just one of those things that just makes your day easier.
We'll link it below, but let us know in the comments what your travel backpack essentials are. We'd love to know what you're taking along.
Okay, now that we can actually find everything in our bag, we can finally focus on where we're going. We're passing this area just casually right across the street from the gelato place. This is where Caesar was assassinated. He was stabbed by 60 different people and he was stabbed 23 times. He leaned up against a pillar like this and that's where he died, just covered in blood because they kept stabbing him even after a fatal stab. They just kept on going. They were even like cutting each other.
Cassius, Brutus, and the other senators decided to assassinate Caesar at the Senate where his bodyguards would have to wait outside. They all stabbed him.
Yo, baby, it's brutal out here.
No, no, literally.
Here's a little bit of perspective if you're not sure like how ancient this is. Caesar was assassinated 70 years before Jesus died. That's how old this is. It's just another example of how Rome is an archaeological lasagna because this is ground level today, but that was ground level back in the day. And if you see there's like a staircase right there, that goes even lower to even more history. We've gone down low enough to see 1st century architecture. I'm pretty sure it's in one of our vlogs in the past. I'll put it right here if you're interested. But it is insane. Like we were here for a month and a half last time we were here. We didn't even scratch the surface of all the history around us. James loves F1 and we just stumbled upon this on his birthday. He's literally wearing this right now and he was saving it as his birthday shirt. That's the one right there. We're walking down a busy street after that shop and you're gonna be in the know right now because if you're walking down the street and you see some silver cups or just any cups where they're playing a game and being like, come on, come bet on it. That is such a scam. They'll let people win to draw in a crowd, and then once they have that crowd or once they have you betting enough, they'll kind of rig the game so that you lose and they get all of your money. And they're also distracting you while people are potentially pickpocketing you. So don't ever fall for that. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a cool thing to see, but just keep walking. While we were on our food tour earlier, our guide recommended this church and said that this elephant right here, the artist was a bit of a goofball, a bit of a rebel. And he made this elephant sculpture. If you can see the trunk right here, it's actually supposed to resemble like flipping off the church. It's supposed to resemble a middle finger. And the butt of the elephant is facing this church as well. And it's all just made to rebel against the church. The obelisk right here, they kind of worked as like almost the street signs of Rome to be like, hey, this is where you are, girl. So they did not say it like that in ancient times.
Bernini agreements with Dominican monks nearby. That's why the butt is facing the monastery.
We are learning in real time.
In real time.
So we have the ass of the elephant facing the monks, and then we have the trunk forming a middle finger facing directly at the Vatican.
Show, brother. We are gonna head inside, but I need to double check if there's filming or not. I'll let you know in 2 seconds. Well, unfortunately for you, it was a no filming location. I'm looking at a very cute wiener dog right now, but it was so interesting in there. I highly recommend going into any church in Rome because they all have amazing art and architecture. and the church we're trying to get to right now closes in 10 minutes. Well, our original plan didn't necessarily pan out, but we are passing the Pantheon right now, and that's amazing. This is the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome. It started out as a pagan temple, but as with many things in Rome, the Christian church took it over and kind of transformed it. And right up here, if you see that triangle, that used to be a whole depiction right there. If there's holes in it like that, you can assume that there used to be marble there. I do have a video of us going inside. I'm gonna link our whole playlist of our Europe trips right up here in case you're interested in seeing that. Okay, let's take a closer look here. Not only can you see right here words kind of slowly disappearing, you can also see right on this one, you see that kind of like almost like square shape. I don't know what to call that shape. That kind of sticks out. All of these, it's kind of eroded. These are also single pieces of stone here. How did they get them here? How did they make them like this? So just imagine how incredible this used to look back in the day if it looks this incredible now.
This is 1871 versus 2020.
There's a rendering of what they think it looked like. Look how gold that is. All right, gather around for a quick story time. This is the location where Rome's largest serial killer lived. By largest, I mean killed the most people in Roman history.
So
Over 600 people.
Our Lord and Savior, the woman.
Yep.
Yes, the woman. One of these, I don't exactly remember which one, was her window that she used to look out of, and she used to sell like beauty products on the street. One of them was Giulia Tofana, which was sold as a beauty product, but really it was for women to kill their husbands. And she was very picky with who she gave it to because she only wanted to give it to people whose husbands were like abusing them or people she really, really trusted. And one of the people she really trusted ended up ratting her out, and that is how she got caught. But it took a really long time and 600 people died.
She's still like the most prolific serial killer in history. Like to this date has the most kills, not only in Rome, ever.
And now it is time for our favorite restaurant in Rome. I'm just so excited to be back here. I really do love this restaurant for the main course that I'm going to show you. But we got an appetizer we've never tried before. And this is not what we expected at all. We ordered prosciutto and mozzarella, and what came out feels like a pizza.
Very soft meat.
Is it really?
I was just gonna say that's some soft meat. Look at this. The focaccia is so good, but I will be back in just a second with the main course, the star of the show. Cacio e pepe with tartufo. On top right there, that is truffle, and it is so good. James got the meatballs, and we're gonna share both of them because that is a good move.
That's delicious. That's so weird.
It's so good and so flavorful. The truffle just adds like this almost kick to the cheesiness that you just can't beat. You cannot beat it. That's not pepper. That's truffle, girl. How much do you think this would cost in the States, this much truffle? This is 16 euros. Matt just said it was the best cacio e pepe he's ever had. Jenny just said she's gonna miss it after it's gone. Me, I scraped that plate clean and I could eat a second one right now. Not even because I'm hungry, just because it's that good. I genuinely believe this is the best pasta in the world. Boom. The meatballs were good too, but to be honest, it wasn't a big quantity for the price. That was obviously absolutely amazing, but the fun's not over yet. To celebrate James's birthday, he wanted to learn about death and ghosts and hauntings. So we're headed to a haunted Rome tour now to end the night. We're making a pit stop at a gelato spot first, but we're actually not here for gelato. We're here for a different kind of dessert. But Jenny is gonna try the ginger gelato, and she's just picking the most interesting flavors today.
It literally tastes like a mashed up cough drop, frozen with cream.
Yum. That was sarcasm. This is what we grabbed right here. What is it called?
Are you waiting?
I don't know. We got a white chocolate cannolo, and then these two things are like wrapped in bread, maybe? Here's what it looks like on the inside. Ooh, that's lemon. It is pretty good. This one's pistachio. Now I am truly full. Even the sweet stomach has been satisfied. So it turns out our tour is a private tour. How exciting is that? And look where we're starting the tour. If you're familiar with this, you know this is exciting. So if you don't know this bridge, there's so much. We haven't even gotten into Mastro Tita and the person who did any executions on this bridge. But there was one girl in specific who was executed on this bridge. Castel Sant'Angelo, right behind me, has gone through a lot of phases. It was built to be a tomb. At one point, the Pope had an apartment here. At one point, it was turned into a prison, and that's when they were doing executions on this bridge here. One of the people that were executed is Beatrice Cenci. You might have seen a video we made about her before, but pretty much her father was like a very well-known man, and he was really abusing her family, like real bad, you know, for a long time. She tried to tell on him, and then people went back to him and were like, yo, she's telling on you. So pretty much they made a plan to kill him. They went to their family home in the north of Italy and they tried to poison him, but they didn't really make the poison right. He just kind of like went to sleep, and when he was waking back up, they kind of like panicked. Her brother hit him in the head and they ended up pushing him out the window, and they ended up being executed for that murder. There's a lot more details that I'm giving right now, but I just want to give you a shorter version, and if you want more, research it. Go on the tour. I highly recommend this. But they were executed right here on this bridge, the whole entire family, and she was only 20 years old. I totally forgot to bring it back to the reason I'm telling you this. On September 11th, which is the day she was executed, people say that she does show up on this bridge walking right down. Pretty crazy if you believe in that stuff. And without getting into too much detail, a cannonball hit that in the 1600s. Isn't that crazy? You see the ceiling above me? In the 1400s to 1600s, this was more expensive than gold. And so they painted the ceiling this color to kind of bring God closer to people. You got the Virgin Mary right here as well. But the only way they could get this paint is by getting it all the way from Afghanistan. And back in the 14 to 1600s, travel, not so easy. So this is so cool. Also, the Sistine Chapel used to be painted like this before Michelangelo came in and repainted everything. So like, this is just really cool history, just right here in this random little alleyway. We just came all the way back to La Moretta. We were learning about Giulia Tofana, the Acqua Tofana that I mentioned before. So I'm not going to tell you that whole story again, but I will tell you that I forgot to mention when we were in La Moretta, I Googled how much tartufo truffle would cost in the States versus here. Here in Italy, it's like €1 to €2. At home, it's 10 to 20. So the dish that I had today, it was €16 here, and at home, it would have been like $40 to $50. What a steal. It just makes that pasta even better to me. Y'all, right behind me, this used to be a woman's prison, and it was bad, okay? Women back in the day were treated so bad in Rome that when they get thrown into this prison, they're just all thrown in cells together, like no room to even like sit or lay down. And if somebody got sick or if somebody died, they just left them in there. So you're in a cell with, I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube. You're in a cell with people permanently sleeping. You're in a cell with people who are sick, people who are injured, and they're doing nothing to help them. And guess who stayed in this prison for a year? Beatrice Cenci. And then you know how it ended for her. They still executed her on the bridge of Castel Sant'Angelo. Our guide keeps saying we're so lucky to be able to explore Rome in this time period, and I couldn't agree more. All right, y'all, we're getting into archaeological lasagna territory here. Where we're at right now used to be the Theater of Pompeo, and this is like in Julius Caesar times, right? So we're going down, down, down to see one of the original pillars of it. Here's a little history for you. Pause if you want to read. There's a picture right there. Caesar. This is all part of this restaurant. This is an original column of the theater right here. Crazy. This is the name of the restaurant. If you want to check it out, you do have to go on a tour to come down here and see this, or you have to get lucky with your spot in this restaurant. But how cool. Look, there's those walls we saw earlier. You know that if the concrete looks like this, it's Julius Caesar times. Sorry, are you saying this is 25 BC right here? It was 55 BC. Even cooler. Just a casual 2,000-year-old architecture with somebody just eating some pasta right next to it. No big deal. Rome, man. This is the place. Now, here's something we know about Giordano Bruno. Crazy story. Instead of giving you the whole dark history on Giordano, let's roll the tape. This statue of Giordano in the middle of the square is here to remind us that this was one of the main squares for executions where they burned people alive. Don't worry, they didn't just burn them alive, they tortured them for 7 years first. Giordano was a monk that believed that the earth was not the center of the universe. The church didn't like him speaking out about this, so they labeled him a heretic and sent him to trial. By trial, what they really meant was torture. They used tools like this on him for years until they finally took pity and sentenced him to death. They usually burned people alive with wood, but Giordano was special and they burned him alive using coal. This was a slow and agonizing death, but finally, 400 years later, the church said, "Oops, sorry," and allowed this statue to be built. Now, Giordano will forever stare menacingly towards the Vatican for its mistakes. Very interesting stuff, right? But that concludes our dark history tour throughout Rome. I hope that you enjoyed that portion. I hope that you enjoyed this whole video and getting to come with us. I love taking you through these experiences with us, and I'm so happy that you got to celebrate James's birthday with us. Not only is this a part of a European series, last week we were in Valencia, but this is also the start of a pact we're making as a friend group. Every 30th birthday, we are each gonna pick a place and we're all gonna go together. And the next birthday is Matt right here, so we'll see where we end up going. He's still deciding. But next week, I'm gonna see you hanging out and having more fun in Rome. So I'll see you there soon. Bye! And happy birthday to James.
Thanks for joining.